slow down. You got to slow down and take it easy. Slow down. You got to slow down and take it easy. Oh yeah.
Stogie review video review. And you can tell I'm a little out of practice. We've had quite a bit going on at Stogie Review as of late. I'm sure everyone's heard of Jerry's tragedy, and you know, I can only wish that Jerry and Michelle can make it through this, you know, as smoothly as possible. You know, best wishes to you both, Jerry and Michelle. In addition to that, you know, obviously Jerry's been away due to that, and I've been away for a week. I got married, had a honeymoon, and been really slow to get back into everything again. I just was trying to catch up on emails last night. I hadn't had a chance to smoke any of the cigars that I was planning on smoking, as far as you know, in preparation for the reviews. So unfortunately tonight's cigar is the one and only that I've had. So hopefully this won't be too far off from the others that I'm going to smoke, probably as early as tomorrow night. And the cigar for this evening is the Montesino Maduro No. 2. And the cigar was recommended by Jabba about a year ago. It's great to think back and you know, and see the same faces still on the site after a year. It you know, means a lot to know that, you know, people are still here after, you know, a year, and remaining active also. Now, after Jabba recommended these cigars, I ordered a 5-pack from JR Cigars, and the note on the cellophane here is that it went into my humidor on November 29th of '06. So it's got about a year of age on it. And as soon as I pull out the cellophane, I've got some plumes starting, and basically they're just oil crystals, and they're all over the cigar, and that's fantastic. I tried to take a bunch of pictures. I don't know how well they're going to turn out, but I turned on macro mode. I tried to angle the cigar so the light would hit the crystals, and you get the best possible view of it. So with any luck, the pictures will turn out, and you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. As far as the cigar goes, when you look at the foot at the tobacco, the very core looks very loose. Just looking at it, I'm getting the impression it's going to have a very, very loose draw, and it may burn hot, and it may burn fast, but that's just a guess at this point. Now, as far as the way the cigar feels, it feels pretty good. Nice and firm. You wouldn't think that, well, I would think it would be a little soft, judging by the loose spot in the center, but it feels pretty good. And, you know, it's got a little bit of flex to it when I pinch it, but it feels nice, a little firm, good. And you know, looking at it, it's got a Connecticut broadleaf Maduro wrapper, and it looks rough. Excuse me. It's got a couple of medium-sized veins. The color is not very consistent from cap to foot. It varies a little bit, but it doesn't look bad. It looks like the cap might be a little loose on one end. Yeah, just on one side. But you know, we'll see how it goes. And it's got a very light, oily sheen to it, and those crystals look great. I mean, they look fantastic. But that's beside the point. And again, this is another bargain breakdown. So while I'm cutting the cigar and everything else, I'll give you some information on it. Now, my pricing information is coming right from JR Cigars. These come in boxes of 25. They are the number 2s, as I mentioned. They're I think they're a 42 by 6 1/4. Give me just a second. I'll double check myself here. 44 by 6 1/4. They come in boxes of 25. JR standard shipping policy is about $2.50 an item. and they're $62 a box. It brings you to a grand total of $64.50. Break that down over 25 cigars, you've got $2.58 per stick. They also have 5-packs, but they're back ordered. So, but you know, when they are in stock again, the 5-pack's going to run you $10.50 with that same $2.50 shipping. Grand total of $13 over 5 cigars will put you at $2.60. So the 5-pack price and the box price are, you know, within 2 cents of one another. So you're getting a deal either way. As long as the cigar smokes well, you're getting a deal. Now these cigars are made in the Dominican Republic. They have a Connecticut broadleaf Maduro wrapper, Dominican binder and filler, and these are made by the Fuente family. If you head over to cigarfamily.com, you know, browse in our cigars, the Montesino is listed, and you know, there's some company information on there about how the cigars came about, the original sizes, you know, when the additions came about. It's you know, there's some good information here. It's just which is nice to see. I mean, sometimes we go on these manufacturer websites and they are terrible, but in this case, you know, there's a good amount of information, and it's really nice to see. Lots of pictures, you know, brand information, history, sizes. It works out really well. And that about does it as far as my information goes. So I'm going to get this cigar started. I've got some coffee brewing. I don't normally drink coffee, but I like it with Maduro cigars. So see how it goes, and then I'll be back. We'll get started on the first third of the cigar, and maybe we'll catch up a little bit, talk about what I had to smoke while I was away, and when I had to smoke recently. So. Well, I got the cigar lit. It's even. Draws a little firm. Completely opposite of what I expected, but you know, hand-rolled cigars, you really never know what you're going to get. So anyway, the cigar's lit, it's producing smoke. My coffee's probably finished brewing. I'm going to go grab a cup, get started on some notes, and see you in just a sec, and we'll get started on the first third. Well, welcome back. Here we are with the first third of my my Montesino Maduro number 2, and well, I've been at this for approximately 40 minutes now, and it's going pretty well. Initially, after I turned the camera off, I took a couple more puffs of the cigar, and I got flashbacks of the last Montesino I had, which was quite some time ago, and it was the, what was it? It was I don't remember what it was. It was the natural Montesino, and I got it from JR's for like $9 a 5-pack, and I got one in the first couple I had were good. They were decent, and then I hit a couple of bad ones, and I remember smoking that cigar. I was sitting down one night, I had a beer, lit up the cigar, and it just came off as dry and harsh, and it just kind of initiated the gag reflex. And I almost had that again when I took the camera, or when I turned the camera off. But you know, I started thinking, well, this can't possibly be that bad. You know, I'm going to give it a couple more minutes and see where it goes. And you know, worst comes to worst, I'll just fight my way through it. But after a couple of puffs, I mean, the cigar just changed dramatically. You know, I don't know whether, you know, I don't know. Maybe I got an under or over fermented kind of leaf in the end. There was a bit of a stem. It just came off. You know, there was just a short burst of just a really foul taste that I really didn't care for, and then all of a sudden it changes for the better. So right now I'm doing pretty well. The base flavor right off the bat initially is kind of like a straight up no frills Maduro type of flavor. And if you're accustomed to smoking Connecticut broadleaf Maduro cigars, you know what I mean. It's just sort of a generic flavor that you're going to find in all those types of Maduros, regardless of what cigar it is. It's just sort of like I don't know. It's like the base coat, and all the complexity and stuff is like an overlay on top of that. But the base is sort of similar between them all, and it was just initially the base flavor was just very run-of-the-mill, average, nothing special. And after a couple of puffs, more and more depth, started coming into the picture. I'm getting some spice, kind of tickles the sinuses. There's a wood flavor which is more along the lines of oak than cedar, and there's just a creaminess developing that I find really enjoyable with the cigar. I mean, we went from kind of being a little concerned about where the cigar was going to really enjoying it. So as of right now, everything's going very well. The volume of smoke is good. The draw is a little firm. The smoke is nice and thick, as I mentioned. The finish is very creamy and smooth. The body is along the lines of mild, maybe mild to medium. It's pretty mellow and laid back, and really nice. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. It sounds like there's someone outside of the window raking leaves or something. But as far as the construction goes, the cigar's doing well. The burn line's nice and even. The ash is light colored. It's compacted and firm. The only downside is the ash drops when it's very, very short. We're talking like maybe a quarter of an inch, 3/8 of an inch. It's falling off into the ashtray with a very light tap. And really, if I were to see that, my first thought was, maybe this is a mixed filler cigar. I haven't come across anything about that yet. I am looking into it a little bit. I want to find out if it is, in fact, a mixed filler cigar. But for some reason, I doubt it is, but I'm going to look into it anyway and just see for myself whether or not it is mixed filler or long filler, and I'll just mention that on the next part of the video. But to make a long segment longer, I'll talk about what I smoked recently. And talked a little too long. But I got back from my honeymoon a few days ago, and I only got to smoke 2 cigars the entire time I was down there, or up there, I should say. We went up to a Caesars Resort, a couple hours from here, just to get away for a little while. Nothing big and fancy. Nice place, but kept us really busy. They had a lot of activities, which some were embarrassing, some were fun. It was a good time. I had a lot of fun. But I only got to smoke 2 cigars the entire time I was out, and I brought about 15 total. The 2 that I did get to smoke, first we'll start with Friday, which was the rehearsal dinner. That night I smoked an Oliva Serie O No. 4 and an Oliva Serie O Cigarillo. And I have to do the review on the Cigarillo yet. I just got those recently. On the night of my wedding, I got all the guys together. A real close friend of mine, my uncle, all my groomsmen, my father, and a couple of close friends of mine. We sat down and smoked I'm getting all sidetracked. There's too much stuff going on. But anyway, not to incriminate myself, but it was a special occasion, so I indulged a little bit. I had a Boulevard Petit Corona, which was very nice, good smoke. And that was actually the night of the wedding. I had mentioned earlier. Wow, I'm getting this thing all screwed up, but bear with me. And when we were up in the Poconos, I had what was it? I had a Padron 1926 Natural, which was a decent smoke, but I remember it being so much better. And I had a Ramon Allones Specially Selected, again indulging, and that was pretty good. I really expected it to be a whole lot better, but hot tub and steam and a little bit of a burn problem. you know, it really makes it tough. And not to mention when you're sitting there and you're looking through a cloud of smoke and you're thinking, do I need to jump up and fan all the smoke away from the smoke detector before, you know, the whole resort thinks it's on fire. You know, I had that in the back of my mind, and it kind of played it down a little bit. In either case, both cigars were very good, but they could have been much better if it was a different circumstance. So that's what I've been smoking lately. Actually, just yesterday I had a couple more. I believe is Serie O number 4 again. That's like a staple. I tried a Chamuco cigar for the first time, which was given to me by my local shop owner. He had a rep come in. We'll talk about that at some other point. I had an Ashton VSG yesterday, so that's what I've been smoking. This segment's long enough, so I'm gonna get back to puffing away on my Montesino Maduro number 2, and I'll be back for the second third, and we'll see where it takes us. Here we are again. I'm still plugging away on my Montesino Maduro number 2, and I've been at this for about 80 minutes now, and cigar's doing real well. The burn line's nice and thin. It's very I was gonna say it's very thin, but I just said it's very thin and even. You know, I'm not getting any blistering around the wrapper. Sometimes it happens with Maduros, but everything looks very crisp and clean, and I'm really happy with it. The ash is still pretty much the same. It doesn't get very long before it drops off, and I started looking a little bit online, and I couldn't see anything, or I didn't come across anything that supported anything really. No mentions of long filler, short filler, or mixed filler. Now, I didn't do a whole lot of in-depth research, but you know, just a few sites I checked in on didn't really have any information as far as the makeup of the filler. The draw is still a little firm, but it still produces, you know, a decent volume of smoke. It's nice and thick. It just kind of lingers around the room, and it's got like a medium aroma. I enjoy the smell of it. I think it smells pretty good. But you know, your significant other's opinions may vary. The body is still mild. It hasn't really progressed much. The finish is getting a little heavier, a little more creamy, and you know, it's going real well with the coffee that I'm drinking. And it's nothing special. It's Folgers, and I drink it black. So, and wow, I'm so out of touch here. The base flavors are pretty much the same as before. You know, it's like a straight up Maduro flavor that you get from the Connecticut shade broadleaf. Wow, the Connecticut broadleaf wrapper. You get like a straight up Maduro flavor from that. You know, and then there's some spiciness that you get through the sinuses. A woody flavor that's more along the lines of oak, and that's really about it as far as what I'm getting. Now, I'm breaking the cardinal rule here of Stogie Review. This is the first cigar that I've had. As I had mentioned, I haven't had the time to smoke any cigars in preparation for this particular review, so I've got to just go on the fly. And not only that, I'm not drinking water with it. I just decided to try a cup of coffee with it. But you know, I'll have to get back to everyone and let them know how the next one is as far as the consistency between one cigar to the next, and I'll smoke the next one with water next time. So just bear with me as I struggle along here. The base flavor is pretty much the same. I just said that, but they seem to get a little. They seem to develop a little more character as I go along, and they seem to shine a little bit more. The flavors just become a little more defined. And overall, it's just been a good smoke. So, with that said, I'm going to stop stumbling over my own words, and I'm going to take a quick break. Be back. We'll wrap up the final third, and I'll let you be on your way. So, see you in just a sec. Well, folks, welcome back for the final third of my Montesino Maduro #2, and well, it's time to wrap things up. Up until now, I've been at this 95 minutes now, and at this point, the cigar has kind of had its day in the sun, and now it's beginning to go downhill. And it's not a dramatic change, but the flavors that were sort of defined and just smooth and enjoyable, they seem to just kind of mash together a little bit. Everything just kind of it just comes together. You know, everything just kind of loses that defined aspect of itself. So it just becomes this mash of flavors that it's not bad, but you can tell that the cigar is just it's giving you a nudge and telling you, okay, it's time to put me out now. So I'm going to plug away at it just a little bit longer, and then I'm going to set it down to rest. The body never really made it past the mild point. Saying that it's sort of mild to medium is maybe a little bit of a stretch, but the finish has stayed nice and smooth, very creamy. It gives you a nice texture on the walls of your mouth, on the tongue. It's a little heavy, but overall it goes very well with the mild body. They just they coincide very well together. As I had mentioned, the base flavor is just kind of mottled and mixed up here. But again, it's not bad. You've still got this kind of straight up Maduro flavor from the broadleaf wrapper, and there's still a little bit of spice when you push the smoke through your sinuses. There's a wood flavor there as well, but everything's just a mash, as I kept saying. You know, it's tough to explain. It's just everything's just sort of came together, and it's hitting you all at once. You know, there's no finesse anymore. But really, that's it as far as the flavor, body, and finish is concerned. The construction was very well. I mean, the wrapper looked a little rough and tumble. You know, it's got some medium-sized veins. It's got like a sort of sandy texture when you touch it, but it burns very well. You know, the ash is nice and light in color. It's firm and compacted, but it drops in the ashtray very easily. So this isn't a cigar that you really want to smoke while you're in your car, kind of moving around, moving your hands around the steering wheel. You'd probably end up with a lot of ash in your lap. The burn rate has been good. I had mentioned I'm at this for about 95 minutes now. I'll probably get, if I were to smoke this down to the nub and use a toothpick, I could probably get another half an hour out of this. So it may be pushing it, but 2 hours for this cigar it wasn't. I didn't have to try very hard to get that much time out of this particular cigar. So overall, I'm really happy with the construction. The price point of approximately $2.60 per cigar was nice. I mean, if you're a fan of mild body cigars with some good flavor, this is definitely one to check out. You know, it's not going to break the bank or hurt your wallet at all if you come across one in your travels. You know, with a price tag of $2.60 per single online, I don't think you'll be very much over $3 a piece if you come across them in a local shop, and even at like $3.10, $3.20, I think they're worth it. They're not as good as a Padron Maduro Laundress, which you're going to find in the same price range, but at the same time, we're talking about a cigar that's a little more mild. It's got a different flavor profile about it, and it smokes very well. So there you have it, the Montesino Maduro #2. Thanks, Java, for recommending it. I just wish I could have got to it sooner, and it was pretty good, and the crystals on it were really nice to see. So that does it for this week's review. I'm not quite sure what's going to be coming up next week. I've got a couple of more bargain level cigars that I need to get through, and there's a couple that I have my eye on that I might order. So I just have to play it by ear. Maybe I'll post a comment on this particular post and let you know what's coming. So if you want to try it, you can kind of get ahead and pick up that cigar. The only other thing that I wanted to note was I got a chance to try a new cigar, a a concept cigar, if you will. Local cigar shop that I go to. The owner was invited over to the Rocky Patel factory, and he got a chance to try this concept cigar that he may bring on as a house blend. And he gave me one. He asked me my opinion, and knowing that it was made by Rocky Patel, I was kind of skeptical about it, because majority of the Rocky Patel cigars that I've had, I didn't really care for them. You know, there just wasn't anything special about them that made me really want to rush out and try them. But I smoked this one, and I thought it was very good. I mean, I'm actually excited. I can't wait to see what's going to happen with this cigar, whether or not he's going to pick it up and make it his own house blend or not. So hopefully everything works out and he brings it on board, because I definitely like to smoke more in the future. It's a really off the wall blend. It's something totally different. He told me what it was going to be, but you know, we'll get to that later. So Jerry, if you're watching this, I finally had a Rocky Patel that really excited me. So I'll have to see if I can get a hold of some, if and when he brings them on, and I'll get them out to you so you can give them a shot. So that's about all I got for you. That finalizes my review and my opinion and all that other good stuff. So with that said, thanks everyone for watching, for supporting this site. Thank you everyone for offering your thoughts and prayers to Jerry and Michelle in their time of need. I'm sure Jerry really appreciated seeing that. I know I did as a friend of Jerry. I was ecstatic when I came home and logged on the computer and saw that, you know, so many people had offered, you know, their thoughts and condolences. It was really nice to see that on a cigar site. You know, that's not something that you would typically expect, but you know, it really showed a lot about, you know, the people that we have coming to the site and everyone's personality. So again, thank you for offering your thoughts and condolences to Jerry and Michelle, and thanks for supporting the site and everything that we do. Keep the emails, comments, all that good stuff coming in. We've got another episode of Your Questions, My Answers coming up at some point. With the recent events, everything's been really jumbled. The episode is recorded. There was a winner. Matt from Little Rock, I think. I don't know. I think it's Little Rock. So Matt from Little Rock, you won. Get me your information so I can get your cigars out. You'll be announced, you know, when the video gets up. So anyway, this thing's going on and on and on. So anyway, with that in mind, or with that said, hope everyone had a nice, relaxed, easy Veterans Day. And until next week, happy smoking.